الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا.
والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه من والاه. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today I'm going to share another thing as regards the Ahmadiyya movement or the Ahmadiyya Jama, so the Qodiani religion. So according to one of their principles and fundamentals, we have some things we learned basically due to our critical studying of their religion, or let me say of their ideology. We study their interpretation to the Quran. We study books of the founder Ghulam Ahmad, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and books of their scholars, their scholarly personnel, their magazines and so on. So we got to learn, and in fact, especially owing to the first debate we had with them in Nigeria, very close to their headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. So we learned that the Ahmadiyya Jama'ah believe in the authenticity of all religion, and in order to make this video a lengthy one, or the discussion a lengthy one, so I'm gonna just quote straight. I'm gonna dive into texts from their books and magazines and so on. Then just if I even want to make any comment, it's gonna be a brief one. Okay, in the interpretation of the Quran written by Muhammad Ali, so second revised edition in 1951. So Muhammad Ali of the Ahmadiyya movement in Islam, under the heading 4, under heading 4, which has a topic of, under the heading named liberal view of other religions. Liberal view, I hope you also know, can just see liberal view of other religions under the subheading. So that is, this heading has a subheading. It have subheadings, and where we got this is the subheading called faith in all prophets. Faith in all prophets. Now let's read what he wrote. He said, there is a very general and a very deep rooted misconception that the Quran preaches intolerance, and that Muhammad, if look at him, can even, like, if it was a non-Muslim that wrote this, we would just say he did. Of course, what would he have written? Because they didn't have any regard for our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. But you call yourself a follower of the Prophet, just naming Muhammad without any title. This is should I even call it profanity? Or at least this is a silly attitude. He said, and Muhammad, as to him, that is, he meant the Prophet Muhammad, preached his faith with the sword in one hand and the Quran in the other. Misrepresentation could go no further. So actually, he said the basic principle of Islam, a faith in all the prophets. The world is enough to give the lie to this allegation. The great, listen to this. He said a faith in all prophets. We may say, of course, Islam wants us to have faith in all prophets, but let's see what that is what he meant. The great and liberal mind that preaches not only love and respect for the founders of the great religions, religions in plural. Islam preaches respect for the founders of the great religions, just like Buddhism from Buddha. Islam preaches respect for Buddha, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Zoroastrianism, and Sikhism, and so on. Great religions of the world, but much more than that, faith in them. You can see, because we may say, of course, Islam wants us to respect everybody, and that's correct. We respect all religions. We don't assist human respect, not faith, not respect, not religious or what do you call it? Respect of their ideology. No, but it's only human respect. Something that's give them respect owing to our worldly interaction. But it went more further. Said, but much more than that, faith in them. Now, when we ask him, where has Allah asked us to have faith in all the religions? What did Allah say? What did Allah say in Quran? In chapter 3, verse 19 of the Quran, let us read what Allah said. Allah says, Inna Dina Indallahi Islam. Verily, the only religion with Allah is Islam. So, verily, the only religion with Allah is Islam. Okay, Allah says another place, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Whoever seeks other than Islam as his religion, then it shall never be accepted from him, and he on the day of judgment will be among the losers. Same chapter, but verse 85. So many verses in the Quran. Allah said, Inna wala tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Die not unless you are Muslims, unless in the state of Islam. This can be found in Quran chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah verse 182. Allah repeats also this same verse in the next chapter, chapter 3, verse 105. So how has there is a word here, or the teaching, be in line with the teaching of the Quran? How? Let me quote another place where you can find this heretic belief of Ahmadiyya. In fact, Allah says in, let me see, from example, the first chapter of Surah Tahrim, the first verse of Surah Tahrim, Allah says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا عدوي وعدوكم أولياء. O you who believe, do not take my enemy and your enemies as awliya. It's helpers, bosom friends, guidance. Helpers, bosom friends, guidance, and so on. Okay, I'm looking for another place because I have a lot of. Continuing, I have not finished quoting his writing. So he said tolerance is not. Okay, he said could not, that is the great and liberal mind that preaches not only love and respect. He was trying to be, and that is that we said love for all, hatred for none. That is love for all religions, hatred for no religion. That is their motto. We know that, we know them for that. So he's trying to refer to that motto, to that their own ideology. That the great and liberal mind that preaches not only love and respect for the founders of the great religions of the world, but much more than that, faith in them could not shrink to the narrowness of intolerance for those very religions. You can see, directly or indirectly, he is trying to, deny all these verses I just quoted, all these Quranic verses I just quoted. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. He said, tolerance is not, in fact, the word that can sufficiently indicate the breadth of the attitude of Islam towards other religions. He said, no, there is a limit, there is a limitation. Yes, Islam tolerates all people of different ideology and religion, but only in the worldly affairs. When it comes to religion, Islam is very strict. Now he said it preaches equal love for all, equal respect for all, and equal faith in all. If he had stopped here, equal respect for all, he said yes. Islam, in fact, during the time of Umar, the second Sultan of the Prophet, a Muslim, in fact, a son of the governor of the then governor of Egypt, Amr ibn As, one of his children beat a non-Muslims that were with them in Egypt then, and he came down from there to Medina to report the issue. And Umar asked to call the father and the son. So, and with the two of them, and Umar gave the stake. He told him, "Do you want to take your revenge?" He said yes. So Umar gave him the stick, and he beat that prince, beat him until he himself was tired. So Umar asked him to beat the father also, the governor. He said, no, I cannot do that. He said, beat him. But he said, I cannot do that. He said, because it is because of him that your son had the audacity to beat you. You can see equal love, equal respect. Islam, that is Islam for that. And even the non-Muslims, they also confess this, which they knew Islam for. But he transgressed his limits by saying an equal faith in all. Where can you find this? Nowhere. Capital No. Capital N and O. Nowhere in the Quran. I just quoted some of little verses. We have a lot of verses in the Quran. In fact, Prophet said that anyone among the Jews and the Christians that heard his message but refused to believe in him will be among the dwellers of the hell. If their faith is equally genuine, as would the Prophet say that? No. Okay. Now let me quote another person, Yusuf Ali. He's in fact one of the staunch member of the founder, Mr. Ghulam Ahmed. He later held the Lahore distinction. He later headed the Lahore section. So he said in his own interpretation, in his own preface to his own Quran that he wrote, he said the Quran indeed every religious book has to be read. Why? Okay, let's go. Not only with the tongue and voice and eyes, but with the best light that our intellect can supply. You can see, just like that's the ideology. He also went further. He said, and even more with the truest and purest light which our heart and our conscience can give us. It is in this spirit that I will have my readers approach the Quran. The same way you handle the Quran, handle all other books. That's just what he said. The same way you handle the Quran, the same faith you have, to the Quran and trust. Have the same to other books. Subhanallah. Let me go further. In one of the pamphlets which I had opportunity to, they used to share them. Okay, they say in the pamphlet, okay, because I'm quoting this from one of the books I've written because of this issue. I'm just using the manuscript I have, or I've printed this one. In a pamphlet published by Ahmadiyya Jamaat, the title, What is Islam? In the third paragraph of his middle column, they wrote the following. Now, this is what I would have said. Islam requires belief in all the prophets, prophets. Now, let's see the prophets, including Abraham. Yes, correct. Moses, correct. Jesus, correct. Krishna, Buddha, Confucius, and Zoroaster. their pamphlets. Yeah, I'm gonna display the pamphlet very soon. All right. Let me quote another thing again. In the pamphlet, in the above pamphlet, we read further. Yet we do not believe that the divine door of prophecy and the door of communication with the Creator is closed for the future. That is, after Prophet a lot of prophets can also come, and this is because they have found a claim to be a prophet. So he was very, and I used to observe him in most of the books he wrote, or some of the books. He was a very wise man. Let me just say, he was very wise enough to open the door of prophecy, so that he won't he won't claim that no other prophet will come after him, because he has done that. So, and actually, people will just accepting that, okay, after all, he didn't say he is the only one. You can see, and this what he wrote is the word of the founder, which I've quoted in another video, which you need to watch. All right, but before I quote hadith that negates this, let me quote his son, Mirza Bashir Ahmed. He supported his dad in a book called Refutation to Ahmadiyya. So he said thousands of people will come. Thousands of prophets will come, and in fact, because of this, Yusuf Ali had to go against him. Like, how can thousands of prophets come? But he has forgotten that his master that he followed that has opened this door. Oh, so let me quickly search for what this quotes one of the texts written, one of the writings of the second sister of this man, Hazrat Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, this second sister of his father. I'm quoting from the book written by him, Invitation to Ahmadiyya, one of their greatest book. It's one of their greatest book. Okay, let me just quickly, because I've already made a video on this topic before. So let me just quickly show you something he wrote here. He have a lot of heresies he wrote here. Let me just quote this. He said, this conception of the spiritual status of the Holy Prophet means that the gift of prophethood should be open to the followers of the Holy Prophet. If such a gift is open to the followers, it will redound to the glory and greatness of the Holy Prophet. You can see. If such a gift is abolished, it means detraction and defeat for him. Who does not know that an able teacher who will have his ability proved must have able pupils. A great king must have other kings as his vassals. If an able teacher does not produce able pupils, he cannot be very able. A great king who does not have kings below him cannot be very great. An emperor is a king of kings. To be an emperor is an honor. Similarly, a prophet whose followers can be prophets is a greater prophet than prophets whose followers remain followers but cannot become prophets. Oh, in fact, so I made a commentary, short commentary. Hope you notice the blue writing there. I said, then should the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, should the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, not have been the one to first teach this? Should you be the first one to teach this, or do you have a proof for this? You're saying no. Would his noble companions also not have understood this, or what is Ahmadiyya insinuating? Yes, they're insinuating. What they're trying to insinuate is also what they've publicly and declared later and claimed later, that it was that they conversely said إن النبوة والرسالة قد انقطعت على أهلي فلا رسول بعد ولا نبي. Said, verily, prophethood and messengership has ended with me. Therefore, there will be no other prophet after me. Messenger. This is a hadith of the Prophet. Another hadith, it said, he was telling Ali that how would you feel if you were to me as Aaron was to Moses? The two of them were messengers. That's why they are family members. That there will be no other prophet after me. This is hadith, an authentic hadith. And in another hadith which I like to quote often is the Prophet is the word of the Prophet Muhammad when he said that the last hour will not come until 30 liars. Thank God, you can see he called them liars. 30 liars will come. Each and every one of them will claim to be a prophet. You can see. That means Mr. Ghulam Ahmad's claiming of a prophet is nothing, strange and was it amazing to us, because the Prophet has already foretold this. And even before his death, his demise, this the Prophet came, Musaylama came. He even met with the Prophet in Medina. The Prophet, he came with, let me just say the Prophet he disgraced him. And even after him, Sajah, and that Sajah was even a woman. What can a man do and a woman cannot do? Because he knew what the farmer was a liar, Muslim. So even we have Allah Subhanahu answer, who was later killed by the Muslims, because it's in the Sharia of Islam, we kill every
impersonal
of what do you call them? Every claimant of prophethood, they should be killed. That's the judgment. That's the lawful legal judgment in Islam. So now we have Ghulam Ahmad too. Unfortunately, but thank God, it was even destroyed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He came in one of the righteous scholars by the name Al-Mirstari, Sanaullah Al-Mirstari. So he was among those who used to fire him with a lot of denials and rebuttals. So he later was later pushed to incurring a curse upon himself, like he just like his custom was. He used to pray upon the person that denied him, that the person was truthful, something should happen to him, what if the person was wrong, or so something bad should happen to the person. Okay, but when Allah would accept the prayer, He accepts it when it was the time, turn of this righteous sheikh, and he said he wrote a book, and this one is something I've made a video on the whole. I think it's in Yoruba language, so the whole the whole text and the message he wrote. So like he said, may Allah may the curse of Allah be upon the liar between him and the sheikh, and Allah should let the liar perish in the life of the truthful person, and something like plague or cholera, and Allah chose cholera. So he was and it's something famous that he died with cholera. Even before his death, one of his in-law came to him. He called him
Sahib Ma'asir.
So he said, I was afflicted with cholera. And according to him, he in one of his books that I have with me, if you watch the video, you can see the books. So the book is Philosophy of Prophethood, the philosophy of prophethood, philosophy to Tad'u al-Islam, the philosophy of the teaching of Islam. So he said, in a certain place in the book, he said he knew how to treat he could recognize symptoms of cholera, and he knew how to treat cholera. He knew the treatment of cholera. So now, if he told one of his in-laws that he was afflicted with cholera, that means he knew what he was saying, and that means the prayer which he has chosen was, answered against him. Okay, so that's that is. In fact, in the Quran, not only in Islam, the previous message, not only this is not only found in the Sharia of Prophet, rather it is also the same thing with the prophets, with the previous prophets, such as the father of faith, unarguably to all major people, all people of major religions. So Abraham is the father of faith. Now, what did Allah say? What did Allah say, or what does Allah say concerning Abraham and those who believe him? To refute this wrong opinion of Ahmadiyya or teaching. In Surah Al-Mumtahina, Surah chapter 60, verse the last verse of the page, or verse 4, Allah says, قد كانت لكم أسوة حسنة سبحان الله قد كانت لكم أسوة حسنة في إبراهيم والذين معه. Allah says, verily, قد كانت لكم, it is for you uswatun hasana, a good role model, a good example to follow. Fi Ibrahim, in Abraham, walladhina ma'ahu, and in those who follow him, in those who followed him. Now, what is a good example? Now let us. If qalu liqawmihim, when they said to their people who were these idol worshippers, who were disbelievers in Allah, in what Prophet Abraham brought, Inna bura'a'u minkum, verily we bura'a'u minkum, we have
dissociated
ourselves from you. We don't have any
amicable,
friendship or close relationship with you again. Why? Because before that, ta'buduna min dunillah, and from what the idols you worship min dunillah, besides Allah. That's the reason. And is this something is something just not really is it how can I just call it? So is it something very serious or something just minor? Is it mine? No, it is very serious. Up to the extent that وَبَدَا بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمُ الْعَدَاوَةُ وَالْبَغْضَاءُ أَبَدًا. They say, and it has arisen between us and you, between we worshippers of Allah, believers in Allah, between we Muslims, as we all know that Islam is the only religion of all the prophets. Since the time Allah has created the earth till the end, Islam is the only religion. Allah said, "Inna Allah Islam." Really, it's a religion with Allah Islam, and He brought all the prophets also came with Islam. What you have given you to practice as religion is what we have given Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus. So Islam is all religion. It's the teachings that are different. The prophets will come with certain principles and teachings, and then will come with the same Islam but different in teachings. Until Islam came with the easiest one and the most completed one. Okay, but it has high rising between us and you, adawa, enmity, wal baghdha, and hatred, hatta tu'minu billahi wahda, until you believe in Allah only. If the teaching of Ahmadiyya is correct, that means the teaching of the Quran is wrong. You see, very contradicting. A lot of them. Prophet Musa. That means, subhanallah, may Allah open the eyes of these people to the truth. Because all the prophets, even the Quran is safe. Why has it come? Because of the idol worshippers. To negate them and to call them to Islam. Because of the Jews and Christians to call them to Islam. You know how many verses in the Quran? In Quran chapter 5, verse 17. In fact, another verse also, after verse 17, I think verse maybe 45 or so, Allah says, لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَالْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ. Those who say verily Allah is the Messiah, that is Allah is Messiah, Masih, Ibn Maryam, the son of Maryam, that is, Jesus is God. لقد كفروا, they have actually disbelieved in Allah. Lot of verse, lot of evidences from the Quran and Sunnah. But Ahmadiyya, you can see the teaching of Ahmadiyya, very heretic. You either accept Ahmadiyya and deny Quran, or accept Quran and deny Ahmadiyya. You either do one. You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open the mind of these people to the truth, to guide them and make us steady. Subhanakallah, alhamdulillah.